Okay, wish you very happy good morning to all dear students. Okay, now yesterday we started the lesson number 16, that is natural resources. Okay, now before going to the today's points, we'll take revision of the points which already we have learned yesterday. Okay, so now the lesson number 16, that is natural resources. Okay, so what we have learned, we learn about the natural resources. In that natural resources, what are the examples of natural resources? What is meant by natural resources? Resources that satisfy our variety of our daily needs. Okay, so that is what soil, stones, minerals, air, water, plants, these are natural resources. But apart from this, many natural resources are there, that is minerals and ores. Okay, so yesterday we learned about the importance of minerals, how they are help us, then after how they are formed, then after classification of the minerals according to the properties. So every elements, every minerals or natural resources, we can say they're having in their own property. They follow their own properties, suppose conductivity, malleability, ductility, these are the property, lusters. Okay, so there are three groups actually, metals, metals mineral, non-metals minerals, and the energy minerals. So in this chapter we are talking about the energy minerals, where from we get the energy. Okay, so then after we learn about the some important minerals and ores, that is iron ore, manganese, bauxite, copper, and the mica. Okay, these are the minerals. But now today we'll learn about the fuel. Okay, so before going to the lesson or point, we'll take a recall, that is what is meant by fuel. To whom we can call the whom? Yes, fuel means what? A material that is burned use heat or energy. See, every we are when we cook a food, so then we're using different type of energy resources. So it might be your CNG gas, sorry, LPG gas. Then after you can use a coal, then electricity, as well as you can burn the wood. So these are the types of fuels. But to cook a food, we want a fuel that is fuel, or it we obtained energy or heat. Okay, so now next one is, in which are the natural resources do we use as a fuels? Okay, which are the natural resources? Yes, yesterday we learned about the natural resources, so points is clear about natural resources. But what the things are there that we are using? Suppose first one is coal, then after oil, natural gas, uranium, and wind. These are the natural resources that we are using to make or to get energy or heat, you can say. So what is natural CNG? CNG is what? Yes, CNG is CNG means compressed natural gas. That is the long form of CNG that we are using to run the vehicles. Okay, nowadays you can see the many vehicles which can run on the CNG gas. Last one is what is mean by forest. So what is mean by forest? Yes, so earlier we learned about the natural resource. Their trees are natural resources, or we can say forest. So whenever the large area of the land covered by the trees, that is what forest. Understood? So these things we are going to learn in these lessons. Okay, next slide, sir. Yes, now we'll talk about the objectives. What today we are going to learn, that is fuel, that definition we have learned, that is coal, the natural institutions. So number of natural institutions that are working for the minerals and the fuel, that is mineral oil, natural gas, the characteristics of the CNG, that is compressed natural gas, then liquefied petroleum gas, that we can call the LPG gas, then forest resources, then ocean resources, and the last one is marine wealth. These are the points that we are going to conduct today. Okay, next slide, sir. Okay, now what is mean by fuel? So definition already we have learned. So the materials that is burned to produce heat or power. Yes, after burning the fuels, when you burn the coal, so you will get what? You will get energy or power. Okay, so various substances are used in day-to-day life for the generating energy. So what energy we are generating when we are making the when you're cooking the food? So you want the heat energy. Okay, then uh, once you want to dehydrate the grains, so you are using the what? Solar energy. So this type of energy we are using regularly. But energy means what? When from you are getting the energy, that is fuel. Okay, so now fuel are found in the solid form, liquid, and the gaseous states. See, in the already we have learned that there are three states of the any substances. So it might be a solid substance, liquid substance, and the gaseous substance. Okay, there are three states. So this fuel can be in out it can be a three forms. So coal is in form, kerosene, petrol. These are what? These are in liquid form or gaseous state. What we can say? Yes, gaseous, that is LPG or CNG gas, that is in the liquid form. Sorry, gaseous state. So we can find a fuel in all three states. Okay, next. Now next example is what? That is coal. So on the screen you can see there are two pictures actually. Two images are there. One in the first picture you can see there is a black stones are there. So black stone is what? It's an coal that we are getting from the what? We are getting from mines. Okay, in the next picture you can see there is a burning coal. So once you burn the coals, you will get the large number of energy. You can see here it's an high amount of energy we can get from the coal. So millions year ago the forest got buried under as a result of certain natural events. See, natural events already in the disaster management already we have learned of the volcano, then earthquake. So these are the natural events, and just because of the natural events, so many of the natural things, many of the plants, animals, it got buried under the ground. Okay, so after millions of years ago, layers of soil kept getting deposited over them. The very high pressure above and the heat of the earth's interior. See, there is an what? There is a process. There is a process of what? To obtain to produce a coal. Okay, millions years ago in the natural events, so many plants and animals which buried under the ground. Okay, and there is a large number of pressure, high energy or high temperature we can say. At high temperature of the earth interior slowly transform the buried plants into a fuel. See, it is the plants, animals which is buried under the ground or a high temperature or high pressure of the earth, center of the earth, it is converted into a fuel. That is what coal. Coal was thus formed from the remain of those plants. That is why coal is said to the fossil fuel. Yes. See, there is a concept fossil fuel. Fossil fuel means what? The fuel which is produced by the natural, that is animals or plants. Okay, once it buried underground, then it forms in the form of fuel. Okay, but the process it takes millions of years. The process which not happen in 1 or 2 years, it takes millions of years. Okay, now we are some we can say, if you're having a science textbook, you can see on page number 107 there is a formation of coal, how it forms. Okay, now coal is found in the mines. See, already we learned the coal which we obtain from the mine. Okay, in Maharashtra, if you think about the Maharashtra, the mine of coal which is found in the Chandrapur districts. Okay, peat, lignite, bituminous coal, and the anthracite are various types of coal. Anthracite is coal is the highest grade or highest scale we can say. So now coal is in a way a storehouse of carbon. It is burned to obtain that heat energy. Coal is used as a fuel. It is used as a fuel in the thermal power plant as well as in the run boiler and the railway engine. See, if you think about the coal, yes, what is the use of coal? So coal is a storehouse of carbon. So carbon, it's the elements. Okay, so coal is contain large amount of carbon, and when you burn to the coal, you will get the heat energy. So that's why it has been used for the various purposes. So it is used in the thermal power plants. Thermal means what? The word thermo. Thermal means what? Temperature. And to produce a energy, we use a coal, as well as to run a boiler and the railway engine. Nowadays, where the railway engines which works on the electricity, but before 30 to 40 years ago, they used the railway engine used to work on the coal. Okay. Now, coal is used as a fuel, cooking and baking the bricks in the kiln on the large scales. Okay. Now see here, you can say the coal, the another use of the coal, they use in the kiln. Kiln means what? To bake the bricks. Bricks we are using to construct the houses. Yes, houses to construct the buildings or row house, we can say. So the kiln, first of all, the process has been takes place on the bricks, and when it bakes with the help of coal, then we can use for the construction. The gaseous fuels, the producer gas and the water gas are obtained from the coal. Coal as an energy resources contribute greatly into industrial development. See, another use of the coal, that is what? The industrial use. Many of the industries depend on the coal. Okay, so as like a thermal power plants, as well as railway, as well as boiler, these are the important as well as industrial purpose we are using. Okay, but now here there are some institutions, some are institutions that are working for this fuel. Next slide, sir. That are using, that is, next slide. National institutions. So in India, there is a national institutions, that is the Oil and the Natural Gas Corporation, that we can call ONGC. ONGC, it's a short form of the Oil and the Natural Gas Corporation, was established on the 14th August 1956. It functioned under the Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas of the Government of India. See, ONGC, which works under the central government of India. Yes, under the Ministry of Petroleum and the Natural Gas of Natural Gas. Okay, now it has large oil and gas research and the production company in India. Its head office is Dehradun, Uttarakhand. ONGC produced near about 77% of the crude oil and the 62% of the natural gas produced in India. Of the 7 commercial important underground water reserve in India, ONGC has successfully explored 6. See what they're saying, the ONGC is a national institution, it's a government institution which works for the oil and natural gas. Okay, which is established in the 1956, which runs under the central government of India. Okay, out of what is the work of this institution? So the works or the research work for this gas and research, gas and natural gas, near about 77% of crude oil and 60% natural gas has been produced in India. Okay, so mainly, there are 7 commercially important underground oil reserves out of 6, or ONGC has been explored. Okay, so this is the important of institutions. Okay, next slide. Now, next point is what the mineral oils. What is mineral oils? We can say here, mineral oil is the liquid fuel formed the decomposition of the organic substance buried underground. The same thing as we talked about the coal. The same thing about the mineral oils. Just because of the natural events or natural phenomenon, you can say. So there is an organic substances which buried under the underground. So it forms or is transformed into the mineral oils. Bodies of the dead sea organisms sank on the bottom of the sea, layer of soil and sand collected on them. See, if you think about the oceans, so bodies of the dead sea organism which sank or stored at the bottom of the sea, and after there are layers of soil and sand which is collected on them and which is buried under the water or under the ground. Okay, due to the high pressure and the temperature of the remain of the dead organisms were transformed into the mineral oil. The same thing is the pressure and the temperature. The pressure and the temperature, the remains of the dead organism which is transformed into the mineral oils. Okay, the underground minerals oil extracted through its oil wells. See, earlier we saw a picture. In that there is fuel. Okay, so there are wells, tube wells, and the oils which has taken out from the underground, that is what oils well. Okay, now mineral oils are known as the petroleum and the crude oil. Mineral oil, it is also known as the petroleum and crude oil. It is greenish color, greenish brown in color. Petroleum is a mixture of many compounds, mainly the hydrocarbons type. See, mineral oil, it's a mixture, it's a compound of many hydrocarbon types. It also contains compound of oxygen, nitrogen and sulfur. See, mainly the compounds of oxygen, nitrogen and the sulfur. Petroleum is extracted through oil wells and refined by the frictional distillations to separate other components. See, there is the process has been takes place to separate other components. Okay, that is aviation, petrol, gasoline, diesel, kerosene, naphtha, lubricating oils, tar are all obtained from the petroleum. They are used as a fuel and for production of dyes, pesticide, perfume and the artificial fiber. See here, aviation petrol means or the petrol, the fuel which has been used for the aeroplane. That is aviation petrol. Then gasoline, then diesel, petrol, that you know already, or that is tar means or the tar which we use to construct the roads, which is in the black color. So that is also we obtain from the petroleum, as well as they are used as a fuel and the production of what, the dyes. Okay, then pesticides, then perfumes and the artificial fibers. So pesticide, you can see the pesticide they spread on the farmer, they spread the pesticide on the crops. Perfume that we are using regularly. So these are the use of mineral oils. Okay, so next part, that is what, natural gas. Okay, next slide, sir. Natural gas is an important fossil fuels. So okay, so what is fossil fuels? So fossil fuels are the preserved remain of dead organism in the rock. Fossils are the sign of their existence left behind by organisms that got buried billions of years ago. Sometimes impressions of the organisms are seen on the surface of coal and stone. See what they're saying. So we are talking about the fossil fuels. What is fossil? Fossil, it means the fuels we got from the remainings of the deaths of the animals and the plants. Okay, or many of the time the impression, their stamps which can be seen on the coal, just because of the coal and the stones which we got from the what, animals and plants. Okay, so now here it is associated with the petroleum in the underground oil wells and the some place as the natural gas alone. The components of the natural gas is methane, that is CH4, that is one atom of C and 4 atom of hydrogen. CH4, that we have learned in the, that is symbol CH4, that is C for carbon, H for hydrogen. Okay, while ethane C2H6, then propane C3H8 and the butane C4H10. These are the what components of the natural gas. So again I am saying that methane, then ethane, propane and the butane are the present in the small quantities. The natural gas is formed from the remains of the organism buried deep underground and subjected to high pressure. The same thing, natural gas is also from the organisms that buried under the ground. Okay, this fuel can be carried over the long distance by means of the gas pipeline. Okay, natural gas that we are using to what we are using, or we are transporting from by the pipeline. But whenever the pipeline is not there, this fuel can be carried over the long distance by means of the gas pipeline. But in absence of the network of pipelines, it is transferred under the high pressure into compressed natural gas, that is called as a CNG. Okay, now our liquefied natural gas, this makes it possible to transport the gas. See how will you transport a gas, because gas is okay. So with the help of pipeline, and whenever the pipeline is not there, that means what, then we has to transport under the high pressure into compressed natural gas, that is CNG, that we are using to run the vehicles. Okay, now what are the characteristics of CNG? Next slide, sir. What are the characteristics of CNG? CNG that catches fire easily. See, when you burn the burner or in the kitchen, when you burn the burner, so it catches easily the fire. No solid waste remain after the combustion. Yes, when you combustion or when you burn the gas, there is no solid waste. Okay, suppose if you think about the coal, when you burn the coal, so there is something left behind, that is waste, or that is the solid waste. But here, once you burn a CNG gas or any gas, so you will not get any solid waste. Okay, carbon dioxide and the water are formed in the small quantities. Here in the CNG, there is an carbon dioxide and the water are formed in the small quantities. The other pollutant are not produced. See, when one, if you think about the to burn the CNG, you will not get any pollutant. Any pollutant. When you burn the CNG, you will not get any type of pollution. Okay, so it can be transported easily. So it's transportable. We can transport, we can carry from one place to another place. It's easily transportable, and the combustion can be controlled easily. See, there is a regulator, you can see. So with the help of regulator, you can control the combustion. Okay, as you want, as you require the flame, you can control it easily. Okay, so these are the characteristics of CNG. That's why it always help to use in the kitchens as well as in the vehicle. Okay, so next part is what, that is liquefied petroleum gas, that we call LPG. Next slide, sir. Yes, petroleum gas is obtained during the refining the crude petroleum. Petroleum gas is transformed into a liquid by substancing it to high pressure and reducing its volume, that is 1/240 of the original. See, liquefied petroleum gas, it is also get from the crude petroleum. Okay, now it is stored in the thick wall steel cylinder so that under pressure it remains in the liquid state. See what they're saying, you can see your cylinder. So it's a cylindrical thick wall steel cylinder so that under pressure it remains in the liquid state. Okay, so as it come out from the storage cylinder, it is transformed back into a gas. See, if you think about your cylinder, so when you shake the cylinder, so you will get there is a liquid is there. Okay, but it is in the liquid form. But when it will be come out and when it will be in the contact of air, so it will again comes into a gaseous form. Okay, this gas contain mainly two components, propane and butane. See, the cylinder gas, it also contain only two things, that is propane and butane. Okay, in the ratio that is 30:70. So propane is 30% and butane is what, 70%. It is also a odorless gas. See, many of the times we checked our regulator. Why? When you get a smell of gas. So if you think about the smell of LPG, that means a composition of components of the LPG, that is propane and butane, there is no odorless. That means what, the propane and butane, they don't have any odor. Odor means what, smell. Okay, but now there is one substance that is called as the ethyl mercaptan, which has a strong characteristics odor in added to it. See, the propane and butane, they don't have the odor, they don't have the smell. But if you, so for your realizing, to get to know about the leakage of the gas, there is an chemical substance, that is ethyl mercaptan, which gives a strong odor. Okay, now this helps to detect any leakage of LPG. It will help to detect any LPG gas immediately and thus avoid any accident. Okay, so now it will help to avoid an accident. So again, I'm saying one thing, keep in your mind, that is liquid LPG, they don't having an odor, they don't having a smell, but there is one substance, chemical substance has been added in that is ethyl mercaptan, which help to avoid the accident, or it gives an immediately to detect then the leakage. Okay, so these are the use, or these are the liquefied petroleum gas. Okay, now we'll turn to the next resources, that is forest resources. Next slide, sir. Forest resources. What is forest? Yes, already we have learned that forest is a natural resources. The trees is also natural resources. The large area of the land covered with the trees. See, large number of area which is covered by the trees is the forest. Okay, once there is one or two plants are there, one and two trees are there, so we cannot say it's a forest. So number of trees are there, number of plants are there. That is called as a forest. Okay, an extensive area of land covered by the variety of plants in the is called as a forest. See, there is a variety of plants, number of plants, number of variety of plants are there, that is called as the forest. A forest is a natural habitat of plants, animals and the microbes. Oh, habitat means what? The animals, plants and microbes are living in the forest. Near about 30% the total land of the world which is covered by the forest. Okay, total area of the land. Okay, out of the 30% which is occupied by, which is covered by the forest, forest perform specific protective and the productive functions. See, forest they perform very specific protective. Protective means what? They protect the lives. Productive means what? They give another product. So they having in their productive their function, that is protective and the productive. So now we will see a protective function of forest. Next slide, sir. So what is protective? So protective means what? To reduce the velocity of water flowing over the land. See, protective function of forest, how they will protect. Okay, just because of the forest, they reduce the velocity of water. Okay, rainwater is the velocity of rainwater. It reduces the velocity of flowing land. Okay, whenever the suppose trees and forests are not there, so once heavy rainfall is there, so all the soil with mixed with the water, it will be flow in the rivers or sea, we can say. But whenever the forest is there, so it reduces the velocity. Okay, another we can say it prevent the soil erosions. Okay, it helps to per percolation of water into the ground. Okay, it helps to seep in the ground. The control floods. Yes, whenever heavy rainfall is there, so it helps to control the floods and to reduce the rate of evaporations. Okay, it control the evaporation of underground water, to protect wildlife. Okay, if you think about the animal forest, so there is and many wildlife are there. Yes, so it helps, it always protect the wildlife, many animals. Yes, many animals having their shelter in the forest, many plants are there. Okay, to maintain the balance of atmospheric gases. See, this is an important point. So the forest which always help to maintain the environmental balance, or we can say atmospheric gases. Okay, once you visit to the forest, you will feel a very pleasure atmosphere, because of there is a large amount of oxygen are there. It always helps to maintain the oxygen. Okay, so these are the protective function of the forest. Or forest help improve and maintain the quality of the environment. Another use of is, it always helps to maintain and improve of the quality of the environment. Environment, it's a vast concept. You know, environment means there are many gases are there. Okay, so it always help to protect the environment or to improve the quality of environment. Okay, this is protective function of the forest. Okay, next slide, sir. Next one is productive functions. Productive functions. So what is productive means from forest we get some productions. Okay, there is medicinal plants, then wood. Okay, many plants are there which helps to give as a medicinal plant. That is adulsa. Yes, that we are using for the cough and cold. Then bell, that we are using for diarrhea. Neem, yes, neem. Then neem, the use of neem, that is what the fever and the cold. The last one, periwinkle, that works on the cancer. And the cinnamon, that is diarrhea and the nausea. And the last, cinchona, that is what, malaria. So these are the plants. They use of what? They use to works as a medicine. Okay, now prepare a list of medicine plants like the ashwagandha, Shatavari, Amla, Hirda, Behrda, Tulsi, and their uses. Take the help of your grandparents, parents, or people in the neighborhoods. See, many of the plants already you have learned, already you have heard, that is the ashwagandha. Okay, many of the times on the televisions you can see many ads that is which contain the ashwagandha, then shatavarikal, amla. Okay, so these are the medicinal plant. Okay, next is the production is what wood. That is an important. So wood is used to make a furniture. Yes, we get strong and durable wood, as also firewood from trees like the teak. Then after harmony, then neem. Okay, subabul. These are the plants we get a strong and durable wood. Wood is used for making the furniture, farming implements, and the various other article as well as in the construction work. See, what is the use of wood? So wood is used to construct the works. Okay, then after to making the furniture, farming implements, as well as we used to uh, use that is as a fuel. Okay, forest wells include the fiber, paper, rubber, gums, and aromatic substances. We get fragrant essential oils from the lemongrass, vanilla, then kevda, vetiver, and the eucalyptus. Okay, these are the another things we get from the forest. Okay, now we get various fruits, bulbs, and the roots, honey, sealing wax, catechu, dyes, etc. from the forest. That means what many productive functions are there. Many things we got from the forest. Okay, so these are that is productive functions of the forest. Okay, now we'll move to the next part. That is what how to conserve forest. Okay, see, once you know about the their protective or productive functions, so it is our duty, it is our responsibility to protect the forest. So how will you protect? Yes, how will you protect? So young trees next slide, sir. Young trees should not be cut. Yes, there is an some the conservation method, that is young trees should not be cut. Okay, the many more trees than are cut down should be planted and the looked after. See, if you think about the cut down the plant, so before time you has to be plant many more trees and look after. Okay, the planted that is that only not the responsibility, but we has to take care of the that plant. Okay, next one is that the stringent restrictions, laws, regulations then regarding using the forest should be strictly followed. See, the government has made some laws regarding the woods, regarding the forest and trees, so that laws and regulation we have to strictly follow, then only we can conserve the forest. Okay, because of it always helps to all the living things, it gives us the oxygen, so our responsibility is there to protect the to protect or to conserve the forest. Okay, now the next part is what, that is ocean floor, ocean resources. Okay, so ocean is a greater part of the earth surface than the land. See, if you think about the our earth surface, the ocean part is a large than the land. Okay, there is a 1/3. Okay, near about 71% water bodies are there, oceans are there, or 29% is land. It is the greater part than the earth surface. Energy can be obtained from the large scale from the ocean. See, energy we can obtain from the mining work, but it is also we can be obtained from the ocean floor. Okay, sea waves at the high and low tides and ocean currents are being used for the generation of power. In the subject of geography, already you learn about the lesson that is tides. Okay, there is a high tides, low tides, ocean currents, how they help, how you produce the energy. So these are the resources, ocean resources. It always helps to obtain or to get the energy. Now here there are reserve of variety of natural resources in seawater at the bottom of the sea and beneath the seabed too. See, we are getting many natural resources at the bottom of the sea and beneath of the seabed. Okay, see, now minerals and bio resources from the oceans. Oceans हमें क्या मिलता है? So minerals and bio resources. We can say it's a bio resources means what? Fish, crabs. So many types of that we can say that is marine wealth. Okay, next slide, sir. Yes, you can see over here minerals and the bioresources from the ocean. See what we can get: minerals, that means what? Oils, oils, mineral oils. Then after the bioresources, that is fish, all living things we can see, which comes under the bioresources. Now scientists believe that the billions of tons of the minerals are to be found dissolved in the water, ocean water. There are very large reservoirs of tin, chromium, phosphate, copper, zinc, iron, lead, manganese, sulfur, uranium, etc. See, there many scientists believe that the billions of tons, their elements, the minerals has been deposited in the sea. So it might be a chromium. These are the elements which which are deposited in the seabed. In the ocean or seabeds, we get many types of gems. What is gems? जिसे हम क्या कहते हैं? Diamonds or moti, pearls, conches, shells, and pearls from the sea. Real pearls are even costlier than the gold. See, these are very costlier than the gold which is deposited under the seabed. Okay, there are large scale reservoir of mineral oils, natural gas at the bottom of sea. We avail of this by drilling oil and gas wells. Okay, now in the Bombay High, which is in the Arabian Sea, okay, which you can say at the seashore of Mumbai. Okay, so there is an Arabian Sea, there is a large oils and gas wells. Okay, you can see over there. That is marine wealth. You can see shells are there, shells, then pearls, gems. These are the marine wealth. Okay, now mineral resources from the oceans and the bioresources in the ocean. Okay, next slide, sir. There is mineral ocean means what we can see. So thorium, magnesium, potassium, sodium, and the sulfate. These are the things we get from what? The ocean. That is used in the production of the atomic energy. Atomic energy, that is thorium. Thorium is the main product, main elements which helps to produce atomic energy. Next, magnesium, used in the flash bulb of the camera. Yes, nowadays we are using the camera. So it what? It helps to flash bulb of camera. Then potassium to maintain the ingredient in production of the soap, glass, and the fertilizers. That is potassium. And the sodium used in the production of the cloth and paper. Sodium is used to make a production of the paper and cloth. The last, sulfate, used in the making the artificial silk. Sulfate, that is artificial silk. So these are the mineral resources. But now here there are also bioresources in the ocean. Bioresources. So which are they? Next slide, sir. There is fish. There is pomfret, spearfish. Okay. Then shells, fungi, sharks, and codfish, as well as sea cucumbers. So these are what? These are the bioresources in the ocean. Okay. Now here there are some occupation which is depend on what? Which is depend on what? Sea or marine occupation, we can say. The fishing is the main occupation. That is, main occupation is fishing. Okay, many people they are living their life on the fishing only. Okay, salt farming, big industry. Salt, every day we are using. Yes, salt farming. The molecular formula of salt, that is what? NaCl, that we have learned in the last lesson. That is NaCl, that is salt farming. It's a big industry. When you visit to the seashore, you can see so many farming, salt farming are there. Okay. Now transport business. See, transport business, the marine transport is the cheapest business or cheapest way of transportation, because of there is no need to construct the roads. Yes, only you has to be you has to have the ships or boats, we can say. It's the cheapest way. Transport by sea. Next day, sea tourism. Yes, means of financial income. So we get large amount of financial income by using the sea tourism. And the last one is that manufacturing decorative articles. So manufacturing, that means what we get. Next slide, sir. We get many. Yes, we get the many decorative articles like a pulses. These are the very costly than the gold. So pulses are there, shells are there. So many things we get from the sea. So manufacturing decorative articles, this type of occupation. So total, if you think about the marine occupation, so fishing is the main. Then salt farming, transportation business, and the sea tourism, and the manufacturing decorative articles. Okay, so in this way, these are the natural resources that always help, or that always satisfies our life. Okay, so in this way we have learned. Okay, now there is one more point, that is natural resources are always for meeting our needs. It always help to provide or to satisfy our life. Okay, reserves, just a second. Reserves of some resources are limited. There is a danger that excessive use will lead to their early depletions. We must keep the control on the use of the natural resources and maintain the balance in nature. See what they're saying, these natural resources are in the limited form. So our responsibility, our duty is that to protect or to use is a responsibility. Excessive use of these natural resources, otherwise it will be a finish very early, otherwise it will be a depletion. Okay, so in this way we have learned what we have learned about the coal, that is fuel. We learn about the definition of fuel, then coal, then after national institution which works for the oils and gas. The next, mineral oils, natural gas, the characteristics of CNG. The next one is the LPG, that is liquefied petroleum gas. Then forest resources, the what we can call a forest. Then what are the uses of forest, that is protective and the productive. Okay, now last one is what ocean resources, what we can get from the ocean resources, that is that we can call the marine wealth, that is mineral resources from oceans and the bioresources. And the last one is which occupation is depend on the oceans. So these are the important points that we have learned. Okay, next slides. Now here some question has been given over there, that is for your evaluations. Okay, what is mean by fossil fuels? Yes, what is mean by fossil fuels? Then after second question, what do we get from forest? Then tell the name of medicinal plants. Yes, that already the names of medicinal plant given in a textbook. Then what is the use of wood? Yes, we are using the wood. Okay, but what are the purposes? What is the use of that purpose? So he has to be write your answers in the chat box. Okay, now we'll move to the last part of the lesson, that is what homework. Okay, next slide, sir. Yes, now here 4 questions has been given there. Collect the information of ocean wealth. Yes, okay, it's minimum information which has given in the textbook, but apart from them he has to be collect the information. So yes, and why is the coal called the black gold? The coal, that is what fossil fuels, but why it is called as the black gold? Next, write the uses of forest. What is the use of forest? That has to be right. Okay, now collect the information about ONGC. ONGC is the institutions, it's a national institution which works for the natural oil and gas. So he has to be collect more information about this. Okay, so this way we have learned, we have completed this lesson. Okay, so in this way we have completed this lesson, that is natural resources. So many things we we learn about. So it is our duty to take to use the responsibly as a responsibly economically we has to be used. Okay, so that is the end of this lessons. So if you are having any doubts, you can ask me any having any questions. Yes. Yes, ask me beta.
हेलो सर।
Yes, yes, yes.
हाँ वो सर वो मुझे डाउट था कि
Yes.
पेट्रोल बनाने के लिए क्या क्या चीजें लगती हैं।
पेट्रोल बनाने के लिए
हाँ
यस पेट्रोल एक्चुअली बनाया नहीं जाता बेटा। पेट्रोल जो है उसको अंडरग्राउंड में डिपॉजिट होता है। ओके सो वो पेट्रोल जो है हम ट्यूबवेल्स के द्वारा वेल से हम उसको बाहर निकलते हैं, उसको प्यूरिफाई किया जाता है। ओके जैसे कल हमने देखा कि विच इज फाउंड इन द रॉ फॉर्म और रॉ मटेरियल। सो वंस यू गेट उस पर कुछ प्रोसेस किया जाता है। ओके सो आफ्टर दैट वी कैन यूज एज अ फ्यूल। ओके वो बनाए नहीं जाते। Okay. Is anybody having question?
सर सीएनजी गैस का फुल फॉर्म।
CNG that is compressed नेचुरल गैस। सीएनजी कॉम्प्रेस नेचुरल गैस, जो कि अपने जैसे कि आपका व्हीकल चलता है, जैसे कि आपका कार है, बस है, तो उसमें एक सिलेंडर होता है। उस सिलेंडर में उसको हाई प्रेशर पे, अंडर हाई प्रेशर उसको क्या वो सिलेंडर पे उसको पैक किया जाता है। दैट इज कॉम्प्रेस नेचुरल गैस। अंडरस्टूड?
ओके सर थैंक यू। एलपीजी गैस।
एलपी लिक्विफाइड पेट्रोलियम गैस, लिक्विफाइड। ओके जो उसके जो कंटेंट्स है वो है प्रोपेन एंड ब्यूटेन।
कंपोनेंट।
Yes, components are propane and butane, which in the store in the proportion of 30:70.
फोर फ्यूल्स।
What?
फोर्शियल्स।
Fossils. Yes. What you asking, beta?
फोर्शियल्स।
Fossil means what? Are preserved, remain the dead organisms. Okay. Fossils are sign of their existence left behind. जैसे कि मैंने बोला कि कुछ सालों पहले क्या होता था कि जैसे कि भूकंप है, volcanoes है, just because of that many animals and plants which is buried under the ground. Okay, but under the pressure, yes, under, yes, just second. Under the pressure and the high temperature at the center of the earth, which is get converted into a fuel. That is what fossil fuels. Okay, which is just made up from the animals and plants. Okay, or we can say which is obtained from the organisms, living organisms. Okay, that is fossil fuels. Okay, next. Yes, is anybody having? Yes. Ask me, Khushbu.
CNG full form.
CNG compressed natural gas. CNG. C for compressed and for natural and G for gas. Yes, you understood?
सर
Yes.
बंद ऑफ कोर्स।
What? I didn't understand. What you said?
सर कोर्स मीन्स बंद ऑफ कोर्स।
I didn't understand. कोल जिसे हम हिंदी में कोयला कहते हैं, कोयला। But yes, what you said, I didn't understand. Coal is what?
ब्यूरिड।
Buried means what? जैसे कि देखो हम buried में किसी अंदर क्या बोलते हो? Buried means सपोज क्या होता है? सपोज स्टॉर्म्स थे, मिस स्टॉर्म्स, तो स्टॉर्म के अंदर क्या होता है? जैसे कि तूफान आया, तूफान की वजह से क्या होता है कि जो चीजें हैं वो चीजें मिट्टी के अंदर चली जाती है, जमीन के अंदर। ओके, उसे ब्यूरिड कहा जाता है। ब्यूरिड मीन्स उसके अंदर गड़ जाना। ओके, thank you so much and have a good day to everyone. Yes, bye.